Hello, it's so nice to have you here, Kimberly. I really want Kimberly to share her story about her amazing company that is called Smooth Move. And later on, I'll have the opportunity to tell you how my family was benefited by Kimberly's amazing company. And it is not an ordinary moving company. It is so far beyond that. So Kimberly, why don't you share with us how you came about creating Smooth Move?
Thank you for having me, Lynn.
Yeah.
Well, Smooth Move, in roughly 2006, we had an idea to start a moving company that specialized in the needs of older adults. We know that many older adults haven't moved in 40 or 50 years, and they have a lifetime of belongings they've collected. And it's very challenging to make that move into a space that's usually much smaller, and we aren't always at this top physical abilities by that time we're making that move. As a matter of fact, a lot of people that are moving into senior living might be dealing with some serious medical conditions, or maybe they've just lost their spouse and their family doesn't live nearby. All of those reasons are why we knew that we had a need for a smooth move. A smooth move is dedicated to making moving a pleasant experience by handling all aspects of a move, not only just getting things on a truck and into a house. It starts with downsizing, which is a real challenge for most people. It's carefully packing. We have lady packers, which have an extra special touch. Of course, the movers taking extra good care, not just of your furniture, but your home, so that walls aren't dinged and doors aren't smashed, and then putting everything right at the new place in a familiar way.
I want to share a moment with my mom, and I don't want to cry. I lost my dad in 2019. Right before my dad was dying, we asked him what he wanted. The one thing he asked for was that we move Mom to assisted living. So we called Smooth Move. Best thing we could have ever done. Their place, they had been there for 33 years. It was packed. And what was so amazing is they took her floor plan and measured every bit of furniture and were able to show us exactly what would fit in the room and what would not fit. And it was just done with such love and such care. And then also, this was a huge thing. My mom had a ton of, like behind her couch, there was a grouping. In their dining room, that were their Danish plates, that was a grouping. And there were just a lot of things that were very precious to my mom. What I loved is not only did they move my mom in such a loving, caring way, but they also hung up every single thing that we asked to be hung up that made their home feel like a home. When my mom walked into the room, she walked in and she said, "Oh, it feels like home." So they literally had put everything away. Her clothes were put away. The kitchen was unpacked. Everything was unpacked. All my mom had to do was to walk in and sit down on the couch and look around, and with almost tears, she said, "It feels like home." And
Just
then,
what we want to hear.
and then my dad came. My dad only lived for 9 days after he came there, but he sat in his chair and looked around, and he had tears in his eyes and said, "Oh honey, it looks just like home." So what you guys do is so meaningful and so impactful on the families you're serving.
Well, we know how hard moving is, and making it look as much like home, that's what we want. Because it is their new home. We don't want to have a long transition time for them to be digging through boxes. The key to downsizing is the layout. If you go out and look at potential new places, get a feel for what's going to feel right. Does the community feel right? Do they have what you are looking for? Maybe it's transportation. Maybe it's having a full dining room that you can still have your hutch. If that's not as important, figure out what is. Do you need a second bedroom? Maybe to have that extra bed or that pull-out couch for when family comes to visit. Once you get narrowed down to the ideal spot, then we're going to come in, and this is a special that I'm providing for all of Lynn's clients who ask for it, is a free 1-hour layout appointment. I will come, we'll measure all the furniture, and we will do a quarter scale layout of your floor plan so that you know that the couch fits, the extra recliner fits, that we aren't having too much that we can't move around or have our friends in because it's so tight. We want to replicate your living space you're in before you move in your new place, so it does feel like home. So anybody who chooses to use a smooth move and they're working with Lynn, that's our extra special deal that we're going to do a free layout. That's $150 value.
And actually, it's worth more than that in my humble opinion, because it saved us time and money because we knew what we had to get rid of ahead of time.
True.
But that's another thing I want to talk about.
Downsizing.
When we were downsizing, it was pretty overwhelming, to be honest, in my mom and dad's place where they had lived for 32 plus, almost 33 years. It was pretty packed.
Yes.
On the outside, their place looked immaculate, but I'm telling you, when you opened any drawer or closet, it was stuffed, and even under my mom's bed. What they did was amazing to me. The day of the move, we did not have to make one trip to Goodwill or wherever you want to donate your things. We did not have to make one trip to a consignment store.
So that's one of the ways that we make it a smooth move. We work with a number of different vendors who handle things that we don't want to keep. Oftentimes, the families are going to take the most precious things, but they're often not the great big things. They're not the second bed that's been there for 30 years. It's not the old couch that's 7 feet long. It's really more of those special, precious things. And after the family has taken what's precious to hold those memories, and we know what's going to fit in that new layout, then we're able to take things to either auction, to consignment, to have an estate sale if it's appropriate. Any way that you can think of selling, we help our clients to find that avenue. The next step would be donation. Donations have been inundated during this terrible time we've worked through. So they don't take everything. They don't take nearly what they used to. But we know what they do take. We will get it to somebody who can use it. And from there, it's disposal. Some clients need a dumpster. More people think they need a dumpster than they really do. So I like to come in, let them know, you don't really see a dumpster here. We can haul this stuff right to disposal for you. And we make that decision during the initial consult. When you're not sure if you're even ready to move, it's not too soon to call in for a consult. Then you can get an idea of what the expenses are, what you can accomplish, and what we can accomplish. We'll do as much or as little as needed. So if you or your family are planning to do that downsize, we'll make a plan that works, and we'll still get you all set up in your new place. If it's too overwhelming to downsize, and families, they're not able to give up their weekends, which is often when they do this, we're able to come in, and generally we can do a downsize in one day, especially if the move has happened first. So we've got mom and dad all settled in their new, smaller, possibly apartment. They know that everything they can fit in that apartment is settled. Then we can go in the house, and in one day we can have the rest of it downsized, taken for sale, for donation and disposal. And our ladies come back and they are able to clean your house, make it look beautiful so that the new buyers walk in, it smells clean, it looks good, and it's ready to sell.
So when they were done at my mom and dad's condo, I was going to list that condo. They came in and they left the place just spotless, to the point where I could step in and really figure out what we needed to do to maximize our profit on the sale of that home. That was really a huge service in addition that you do. All right, so a great question I have for you that I'm sure people will be curious about is, how soon should people contact a moving company, and how do they choose the right one, and what does a typical move cost? So,
question about cost is always first. Let's hit the other two. How soon? As I mentioned just a little bit ago, you want to be looking at a mover even before you know where you're headed. And a lot of times you're actually talking to your realtor even before you know where you're headed. So I would say talk to your mover and your real estate agent around the same time. Movers often book out a month out. For larger jobs, we need several days on a calendar at times to do the move. The more time, the better. Our estimates are pretty valid for quite a while, and we get an idea just by talking to you what's going. Even if you haven't started sorting, haven't made the decisions. And then how to choose a good mover. You want a mover who's going to come out to your house and see what you have. If anybody gives you an estimate over the phone, they haven't seen anything about your move, their estimate is pretty much worthless. You end up at move day finding all these hidden costs you didn't expect. You want to meet your mover, feel that you trust them, they're going to move your most precious belongings, and we need to make sure that they're going to take good care of them. After the move, you should get a written contract that's sent relatively quick. If they forget about you, or if they show up late, or if they don't give you a good feeling when you've met them, they may not be the right mover for you. And some people are just looking for the lowest estimate. I'm going to get 3 estimates. We're going to pick the lowest one. Be careful. A lot of times that low estimate, they don't have insurance. You cannot get a hold of them if you had noticed some damage you need repaired. So you're trying to find somebody who's going to take good care of you, your home, your belongings. They're going to show up and they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Those are the things you're looking for when you contact a mover, and they should come out and do a consultation within your area that you live for no charge. If you're an hour away from the moving company, there may be a slight charge, but they may offer something else as a give me for making up for that drive time cost. And did we have one more question on that? What does it cost?
Yes,
Oh,
what
did I
does
get
it
back to
cost?
that? So moves are figured in 2 different ways. If it's within the state, it's figured by the hour most often. Or some people will just get a rate per job depending on the size of your house. If you're leaving the state, it's by weight and distance. So somebody will come out, they'll make a list of all the things that are being transported. They can come up with a weight for that load. A Smooth Move does a special thing on our moves. We do an expedited load. So we come back empty. We'll take you to New York City or Seattle or wherever you're going, and we come back empty. So it's an expedited price. You're paying about 1/3 more than it would cost for somebody to put all your stuff on a big semi-trailer with other people's loads, and you wait 3 weeks. You're going to be waiting 3 days. So that's a little bit different. And so the range, you will find a move that might be $1,000, or you'll find a move that might be $10,000 if you're going across country and out of state. So that's why it's so important to have that mover come in and give you that written estimate based on what you're looking for. If you only want a little bit of work done, then your price is going to reflect that. If you want the whole shebang, we want start of downsize to final clean, then the price is going to be based on the time it takes for each of those steps. And that's my job when I come out.
But when you came to my mom's house, I was there. It was very clear what you were going to do for the money we paid you. Everything was listed out. We had a contract. I will tell you from experience, they've moved my mom twice. Both times it was just done with such loving care.
Thank you. I love to hear that.
Oh, and even the movers, the big
We're not
men.
hiring boys,
No.
so we hire gentlemen. If they're not house trained, they are not working for us.
No.
And a lot of times people will apply and they'll say they work for somebody else. Well, they've learned some bad habits and they almost never work out if they've already worked for somebody else. We're pretty particular on the special people we hire.
Yes.
And we treat them very well because of it, and so do our
Yes.
clients. And I think we also mentioned we have women packers. Women have a special touch, and they're able to recreate your hutch exactly how you currently have it. We're not decorating to what our tastes are, we're decorating to your exact taste. We take photos of the different areas of your home, what's on the nightstand, what's in the kitchen cupboards, and we do our best to get it exactly like we found it.
On the second move, your ladies, just to give a little insight, your ladies moved my mom's kitchen. And the kitchen in her first apartment had been a little larger. She had a lot.
Yes.
They were so careful how they moved it to the new location, even though it wasn't the exact same kitchen. When they had questions, they would ever so politely come and either ask my mom or myself, what about this? We noticed you had some things lower because my mom can't reach high. We noticed you had in some drawers, you had dishes. Do you want it like that again? The answer was yes. And so they made sure, even though there were only 4 drawers, they made sure that 2 of those drawers were my mom's key. So, just the care that was given was amazing. And even the male movers were just so kind and polite and thoughtful. And so it made the whole experience just such a joy.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, thank you.
The other day I went to visit my mom and she was looking at the pictures that were hung by Smooth Move, and there were a lot of pictures. And we actually made a new grouping at the last minute above mom's bed. It was like her headboard. And the head person for the team really needed to leave. He said, nope, we're gonna get this done. And my mom sits on her couch every day and looks at that grouping, and she's just like, oh, I just love that. It just makes me feel so good. So the time that he spent doing that meant the world to my mom. Yeah. So let's say people are feeling overwhelmed with the amount of stuff they have. Will you talk to me about the service that you have where you actually come in before people are moving and you help people sort through that? Could you share a little bit about that? Because I think a lot of people might want that service.
So part of downsizing is sorting. And oftentimes our clients, they're not getting up on a ladder anymore. They're not going up on those upper cupboards. So we'll have a lady come in and they'll work one-on-one. And it's a cheerleader situation. It's never shaming. It's never negative. It's just really encouraging. Maybe you put all the cookie sheets out. Okay, you have this many cookie sheets. Shall we pick your favorites? Shall we think about what it is that you most use, or how many coffee cups we want to take? Oftentimes there's a whole cupboard full. Or you find some food products or other dishes in closets in other parts of the house. So we'll just work one piece at a time with them. And I usually like to do that for no more than 2 hours because sorting is exhausting. So if it's the one-on-one sorting, that's exactly what it is. Some of my team members will work through the shoes with the lady of the house. And they're oftentimes haven't been worn in a really long time. And they still want to see them one more time, but the heels are probably not going along. But so she'll sit there and help try on shoes, hold up clothes, organize clothes according to size. Really, it's unique to each client. There's no cookie cutter about a smooth move. Every move is unique as our clients are.
So let's talk about someone who has a storage room of 200 square feet and it is piled. I have a client who has this right now. It is probably 300 square feet actually, and it's piled. Is that something you can help them
Yes,
with?
and I don't know in this situation if they're a chronically disorganized person or not, but we certainly do work with people from any area of the hoarding scale. We have some unique tools and we set some goals with them, and then we help them to hold those goals. So we've had a lot of special training. We're part of a national organization that helps people get organized when they're chronically disorganized. It's all about the relationship with the person and the trust. Once we have the trust built, because we're not going to do anything they don't approve of or anything behind their back. I've worked with a couple who they both like to collect a lot of things, and you could hardly walk down the stairs or use the bottom level of their house. And we were able to go, and they didn't move. They were just looking to reclaim their space.
Yes.
And what a joy it was to go
that's
and do that with them
amazing.
and sort and pack with them.
That was just a really important thing I thought we should cover, because I do run into that with quite a few clients. They feel overwhelmed with the amount of stuff they have. One case, the husband has lost his wife. His wife was a huge collector of things, and he is having a hard time letting those things go. So that's really special to know that your company helps with that as well.
Yes, absolutely. It's actually one of my favorite parts of what we do.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered? Smooth Move is just so special. I want to make sure we've covered all of the unique aspects of your business. Is there anything else that you want to share?
We're part of a group of people called Senior Move Managers, and there are a lot of good ones to choose from. One thing that's unique about us, we had so much trouble finding movers we trusted that we brought in trucks, and we actually run our own trucks. We don't hire out to any other mover. It's our men, they're trained by us. And I think that makes it really special. Another thing that we do that's a value add is we rent our cartons to our clients. They are not charged some crazy rate to keep all these cartons, but we bring the cartons, we fill them, we take them back with us so we can recycle and use them again, which is, I think, pretty special.
It's awesome. We rented their boxes from you, and that was very nice.
There's no need for our clients to start collecting newspaper and old boxes from the grocery store and dragging all of that home and filling your house, which you should be enjoying, and rather making it very unsafe by having all this packing supplies around. We bring everything that's needed. You don't have to collect any of that.
So let's talk one more time. You have very graciously offered to all of my clients, if they choose to use your company, which why wouldn't they? But you have offered something very special. Could you one more time just share?
Yes, I'd love to. I think the best way to move is with a layout. If you don't know how you're going to set up your new spot, you don't know what to bring. You end up spending way more than you need to because you bring too much, it has to go back, it doesn't work. So what we are offering is to do a quarter scale layout. It's a 1 hour layout appointment. When we're working with you, we will set up a time before move day. They'll come out, we measure everything in your house that you're taking with, and I cut them out into little cardstock pieces. So you can move them around on your layout, and then we look at it and we see if there's areas that we didn't consider that could take another piece, or things that simply don't work. You won't be able to open a drawer because it's too tight next to the bed, something like that. It's so much easier to do that on paper before we make the move. I just helped a lady move right before Christmas, and she had done her own layout, and it was not to scale, and she was just fine with that. And so unfortunately, when we got there, the things didn't fit. We moved the furniture around 2 different times to try ideas she had that still didn't work very well. And we were actually back last week to move a chair again because it was still a struggle. And we actually took one of the bookcases and she's giving it away, and we hauled it downstairs to the garage. So it's why layouts are so important. It could have saved her so much to have that layout. Everybody would be on the same plan. She could look forward to knowing it was gonna work instead of worrying about it for the months up to the move.
Well, and just the benefit of us knowing ahead of time and being able to talk to family members, hey, this is what's gonna be left. Do you want this? We could get a yes or no, and then we got rid of it. Another thing that's unique about you guys is they have a sticker system.
Yes.
There's a red sticker for something that was
red
not...
sticker we're not keeping.
Right, it was not keeping, so I put a red sticker on all the things we knew couldn't stay in the house.
Green sticker goes.
Yep.
So that's a really handy tool. If you're having any memory loss, or your mom is having memory loss, if you use a simple sticker, something that's just going to remind them, yes, we're taking on the move, you've told us that you want to take it and it's important, so it's a green. And then every time they walk by, say a picture, they're not wondering if they told you that that should go. There's a reminder there, it's visual, and it works so well. And our team is always on point for looking for reds and greens.
Yes.
So green goes, red stop, red doesn't go.
And you're right, for my mom too, that was very helpful, especially with the second move, because she is starting to have some memory issues. It was very helpful to have that all very clear, what was staying and what was going. So, by the way, this is not just in the Twin Cities. This is in Rochester.
We do all of Southeast Minnesota as well.
So that's important to know in case you happen to be moving there. And then of course you also do longer moves as well when people are moving out of state. So, well, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm so thankful that you were able to share with people who are looking at downsizing, or we call it right sizing. And the other thing I want you to know is I can't tell you how many times I have my clients tell me, I wish I would have done this sooner. Don't wait until you're forced to right size. Don't wait to sell your single family home to find your new place and your new one level living until you've had an injury or it's too late. That takes a lot of your options and choices away and a lot of the joy and fun of finding your new place. So I really want to encourage you to make this change while you still can easily do it yourself with the help of Smooth Move. And I would love to help you sell your current home and help you find just the perfect new home. You may contact Smooth Move directly. There will be details out their services and gives you the ability to contact them directly. A page that you also can contact me and let me know you would like me to set up an appointment for Smooth Move. Again, as you can see, we have an amazing team with Smooth Move being available and then me helping with the relocation and the sale of your home. Thank you.
Thank you.